All right, so let me welcome you. Thank you for being here, guys. Let's start with this, Libra scales. Here we are in the midpoint. Just let your hands rest here and your shoulders drop. And if you need to drop your hands, you just do that. Lengthen tall, lift your heart. And exhale to close your eyes. If your chin wants to drop, your jaw wants to drop, if your fingers want to curl in, let all of that just happen. And you just take a few breaths here, just tuning into whatever you are feeling in your palms. And now bringing your hands to your heart, and you might go slow. It's always interesting to kind of feel that little bit of resistance. Everything flowing out of your body, all the heat and the energy there, that as you bring your hands to your heart, you can tap into that. And then either palms together or resting at your heart, whatever you assume is lovely. And just take a few more breaths here, just inviting in that energy surrounding you to be integrated through your breath. So your breath is that great bridge that connects your inner world and outer world. And then, of course, there's the senses. But we'll stay with the breath for right now. And on your next inhalation, lengthen tall again, lift your chin. Exhale this breath. And we'll open this practice and chant Om together 3 times. Inhale. Bowing your chin. Release your hands to your thighs. Lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay. All right. So we're going to start in either downward dog or child's pose. I'm going to sneeze. My mother has an expression, you sneeze on the truth. So that's the truth. We're either going to start in downward dog or child's pose. Good. And take your time. We're going to take maybe 5 breaths. So once you settle, then you'll start dropping into your breath and invite in any movement that you need to release your day. So feel free to lift and lower your heels or bend your knees, rock your hips. Good. Okay. And we'll all just meet on hands and knees. And we're just going to do a few sideways cat-cows. So once you're here, just take I have my toes tucked under. Just shift the hips over to the right and then take your gaze over to the right and then reverse. It's like you're a very old happy dog. You're just wagging this tail a little bit side to side. Good. Okay, so let's do one more. I'm just going to finish off on the opposite side. And then coming back to center with the toes tucked under, I'm going to bring it down to a version of child's pose. So you might come onto your forearms right away. You might extend your arms, drop your forehead to the floor. And if the feet are not happy, then put the tops of your feet on the floor. Just take a few breaths here and Whatever this is for you, relax your feet or any part of you that you can do less. Good. And then from here, friends, we're going to come back to hands and knees, but through cat pose. So as you come forward, round your back up towards the sky. And then once you get here, drop your belly, roll your shoulders, lift your chin. You can put the tops of the feet on the floor. Good. And then take the belly back up, arch your back, drop your head. And now start to take your hips back down and walk your hands in if you need that, or keep that extension in the arms. And again, we're just going to take a few breaths here. So make it your own. Let it be soft. Good. Okay, and then we'll round up again through cat pose and come back up to hands and knees. So let the back arch. Once you get here, bring it to center, whatever neutral is. Tuck your little toes under and bring your knees right together. And if you need something under your knees, friends, put it there. From here, I'm going to take the right leg and just stretch it back. My wall is right here. I'm going to try not to hit the wall, but if you use the wall, that's no problem. And then take your left arm and just start to reach it out. And just, find this bit of balance, engagement. So you're stretching through arm, leg, smile. Even if the wobbling, that's not abnormal. You can always use the wall to stabilize. Good. And then release. Take everything down. You're going to come to sit with the toes tucked under. So whatever works. Hands can stay. Hands can come here. You can even go up, like I'm just moving out of the heart's on his knees. That's all good. Good. We'll take one more breath. Good. Okay, just take a little wrist here. So we'll bring the hands down and start to bring it up, and then, make it your own again. Hands back or whatever you need to do. I'm going to walk my knees back a little bit just to give myself a little extra. Good. We'll just breathe here. Maybe you'll even arch your back up as if you're doing cat pose. That's going to give you a little bit extra. So breathe. Good. If it's too much, I didn't say it, but your hands can turn out. Okay, and now put the tops of your feet on the floor. Walk your hands back. I'm just picking them up, walking them back towards my knees. You're going to sit down again and start to lift the palms up. Try and keep the fingers on the floor if you can. And we'll just stretch the fingers. I'm going to pull the thumbs back, dropping my shoulders. And if you're up here and your palms are barely lifting, then just say, wow, I'm really happy I'm doing this. Breathe, breathe, breathe. That's just tightness. It happens. Good. Okay. And then release. We're just going to roll the wrists. I'm sitting on the tops of the feet, but heart just wanted to cross-legged, and that's all fine. Okay. So we're going to come back to do the second side. So we come back hands and knees. If you need to do forearms instead, it's actually more challenging, but do it. And then once you're on your hands and your knees, bring the knees together, tuck the toes under, and we'll just start to extend the left leg out. Toes point down. You can hit the wall, that's fine, or just extend. And then when you feel ready, start to take the right arm out. And you press the left hand down, even the belly comes in. We reach with the hand, the leg, the heel, the fingers. Take one more breath. And then release, and we'll come to sit. I'm going to sit again on the tops of the feet, but if that's cross-legged for you, it's fine. Just let the hands rest with the palms facing up. Let's take a little moment, close your eyes. Feel what you've done in that little bit of time. Good. Okay, so we're going to come to forward fold from here. So I just tell you, however you need to do it. So I'm just going to bring my hands to the floor, tuck my little toes under, walk the hands back, and then lift the hips. And once we're here, walk your feet as wide as your sticky mat, or a little wider if you like. If you need your blocks, then take a moment, you can bring them in. Otherwise, just drop into this forward fold. You can let your hips sway if that feels nice. Bend one knee, the other. Even whatever you're doing here, you can find your little dance, whatever it is. Just letting the crown of the head drop. And if that doesn't happen, if you feel like your head is way up here, and if you take your blocks and you bend your knees, things might start to kind of open. Okay. And so again, doing whatever you feel you need to do here. I'm just going to let the weight drop. Okay. We're going to come up to standing. So if you have blocks, you start by putting your hands on the blocks, and then everybody bend your knees. And from this bent knee, you start to find a place, maybe hands to your thighs, and you come up. And then just pause here. You can close your eyes if you like. Just feel. Yes. Okay, so you feel this from upside down to up. If you feel dizzy, then just take the time to let everything come back. And we're just going to move into tree pose. So you might put your hand at the wall, or or move into the middle of your space, whatever works. Okay, so you start on the right foot and just look at it. Again, this is like the end of your day, so you don't have to make it any more than it needs to be. And then take your left leg, find your tree. And then use the wall, bring your hands together, and just, I'm not going to give too much instruction, just be the tree. You want to lift your arms up, be the tree. Good. Okay, we're going to soften what we can, strengthen what we can. You might have your gaze resting on the floor. Makes things a little easier. But, every day is different. Good. Take one more breath. And then lovingly release. We can use the wall. And then we're just going to stand again. Maybe you take your feet a little bit apart, close your eyes, or rest your gaze at the floor. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Good. Okay. And then opening your eyes and finding your balance on your left foot, and take the right foot up and use the wall or find your balance and take your time. Be playful, enjoy it. All the things you're inviting in with this pose. So the ankle you feel maybe wobbling, or the foot on the floor finding its balance. That's such good work. And even if you're falling or wobbling a lot, that's great brain work. Okay. We'll take maybe one more breath. And then slowly release. And once again, just stand. You can close your eyes or rest your gaze. Good. Okay, so last one, we're going to start to make our way back down. So from here, I'm just going to take the arms and just lift them up towards the sky. And we'll just take 3 breaths. Open your palms, stretch your fingers. Just reach up. As you exhale, there's a softening. So just do that 3 breaths. And as you finish your 3rd breath here, then beginning your next inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, open your arms out, bend your knees, and start to come back into forward fold with blocks or no blocks or whatever it is. Feet at a comfortable distance. Let your head drop if you can, if that's okay for you. If it's no good, this half forward fold is a good pose. A lot happening here too, so whatever you need. Just take 2 more breaths. And then yogi's choice, you can just come down onto your knees, but maybe we take the hands for a little walk into downward facing dog. Good. And then once you're settled here, I'm just going to offer 5 breaths. And I said it's our last pose. We're going to turn onto our backs. But if you'd like to lift one leg up and stretch it, or bend the knee and move into dog peeing pose, and do that on both sides. And whenever you're done, or you're already down, then either just coming onto your back or spending a few moments in your child's pose. I'm going to move the camera. So whatever you like, either child's pose or you can even just sit for a few more moments. Good. And just feel all of that. Good. So I'm just going to come into child's pose for a few. Okay. All right. So we'll come up, and if you're already on your back, maybe you have your blocks nearby already and your bolster. You might I'm just going to place the bolster along the length of the spine. And so I'll just have it flat out. If you like it with blocks, I know we all do different things here. So if you prefer your blocks underneath your bolster, then you can put them there. It'll be like that. Or just straight out. I'm going to have mine flat out. And then I'll just put a little blanket on the end for my head. But, if you know. And if you don't know, as soon as you get in, then you know. Okay. So I'll just put a little blanket like that. And then we'll come down. Now, I'm going to do this in Virasana because I like that. But it's not for everybody because, you can see the flexion in the knees. So either you're lying down with your knees bent, and I'll just move out of the way. His heart just has his, just like that. Yeah. Or, Badaknasana, you can do whatever you like with your legs. You can also be stretched out straight. Yeah, nice. Great. Okay. And then just dropping into however you've chosen to be and release yourself over your support. And if it doesn't feel comfortable, we just take a few breaths and let it kind of fall in. And so however you are here, adjust what you need and then rest deeply. Just feeling this bit of stretching from the navel to the pubic bone that's happening here. And we're also inviting in the natural curve of the low back to happen. The shoulders to be supported. And just melting yourself in as much as you can for the next few moments we're here. Okay. So if you're in Virasana, you might be ready to come out. And so we're just going to press yourself up to sitting. And so if you have your legs the way I had mine, then you might press up and you might take a little downward dog in the middle just to stretch the legs out. And then you can come back in, deciding if you want to stay in Virasana or you want to switch out. So otherwise, if you're not in Virasana, then you're probably okay to just take a few more breaths. And if you need to stretch your legs out, then just offer that and come back. Okay, good, great. Okay, and we're just here for another maybe 5-6 breaths. Okay, and as we're getting to the end, if you'd like to, stretch your arms over your head. You can interlace the fingers, flip the palms, and just extend your arms and draw your belly in. If that feels nice. Good. Okay, and then we're going to come out. You might roll to your side, or if you're in Virasana, you push yourself up, maybe take a little downward facing dog. And then we're just going to come to sit on the bolster. So whatever way you need to face is how you're going to sit. And we'll have the, yeah, perfect. Okay. And then we are going to do our feet. So bringing in your massage oil and your socks. Okay. Good. Okay, so we'll start with, maybe you always start with the same foot. Think about that. Do you always start with the same foot? Maybe switch.
Too late.
Too late. Unless it's too late. That's okay. Then you just acknowledge.
Yes, next time.
Okay. Good. All right. So I'm going to start just, you'll rub that oil everywhere. And then I'm going to just use the opposite hand, the thumb. And we did this a couple of weeks ago, just to trace along the side bone of your foot that goes over the arch from the big toe to the heel. And once you've established that bone, then you're going to start to go work right underneath it. And you might just go slow. You might, paint lines. You might make circles. You might bring the other hand in and just kind of explore this part of your, the soft underside of your foot. And see what happens when you flex your toes, you point your foot, just so add in a little bit of something and see what arises. And maybe it's nothing, and that's good. And then we'll just start to move around the foot in whatever way you like, making sure you get the sole of your foot, the outer edge of your foot, and that heel. And the balls of the feet, just underneath the toes, the top of the foot. And then you're going to work those toes, honey. Now getting all parts of your toe. Give it a nice little twist, a pull, a tug. And there's some magic in between the toe, the base in between the toes. It's kind of a magic spot. And even as you maybe rub your thumb in between the toes, you might even, do I feel a little bit of magic tingling anywhere else in my body? It's so connected, your feet. Okay, good. All right, so just give it a little twist. Finish it off. And then you can pause, compare, feel, and then we'll sock it up. Okay. And now we'll do the other foot. Okay. So I'll just let you guide your own way on this foot. And just playing with any of those things that resonated, or anything from previous foot massage that you love. So just not neglecting any parts of your foot. So connected. The geography, I don't even know if that's a correct way to say it. The geography of your foot mimics, the geometry of your body. Maybe that's a better word, geometry instead of geography. So, everything is mirrored of itself, right? Like your hands and your feet, your facial features and your nether regions are very connected. That's for another class, but just everything reflects itself. Okay, and then we'll just give that nice twisting. Just finish up. If you haven't, take your time, and you'll just sock it up when you're ready. All right, Okay, so our next pose is going to be Supta Badaknasana. And so that's where we're lying down with the soles of the feet together. So let's see, 2 ways you could do this. You could have the bolster behind your back the same way we had a moment ago. And you could also just be lying flat on your back. And then with a support under your head and a support for your knees. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to lie flat, but if you prefer the bolster, use it. And I'm going to use my bolster. Maybe I'll get you to turn the light on. It's starting to get darker. I'm going to use the bolster to support the knees. But if you need, more blankets, if you brought your heating pad with you, put it in. There we go. That's better. No, I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then you feel free to put a blanket over yourself. Get comfortable. So you've supported your legs in some way. If the bolster's too little, we'll give you enough support. Add. Keep adding. Good. All right. All right. So now we're here. I'm just going to let the arms come out. So however you are, if you have the bolster underneath you, that's great. If you're just flat on your back here, that's fine too. I'm just going to drop in. Let's feel the energy of the feet. Even if they've come apart, you remember when we brought our hands together, the energy is there. So whether the feet are touching or not, still happening. And softening your entire pelvic floor, everything you can. And just let that softening travel up. Soften into your low belly. Just feeling everything become very spacious. Softening through the mid-belly. Into feeling the support underneath your mid-back, bolster or floor. And the support underneath your heart space, back of your heart. Feeling the tops of your shoulders release. Throat, release. And as you take your awareness up to your face, and spend some time here exploring where you're still holding. Is it in the furrow of the brow? The hardness of the eyes? You soften your cheeks. You feel your tongue resting. You feel your jaw releasing. And just letting everything go in the next few breaths. Okay. I'm going to just take the right leg, just the right leg, and lift the knee up. Maybe the foot goes on your bolster if you have a bolster there, or on the floor, whatever you have. And then see how this is. So you have the right knee bent, the left leg still in Badaknasana. Adjust anything you need, but just stay here and breathe. And then the next step is to bring this right knee into your chest. If that feels okay for you, then do that and bring your hands up to interlace. Okay, now if you're still on the bolster, this might be working and it might not. So if you're on the bolster and it's not working, then I guess you need to come off the bolster. But maybe it's working. So I'm just going to go with it's working. Okay, I'm just going to point and flex the right foot a few times. And I'm just letting the left leg do its thing. And as you do this, just notice where tension starts to come in. And imagine that you're just resting as we were a moment ago, even though this has changed. Okay, now we're just going to rest here. You decide what you do with the right foot. If it wants to point or flex or just be. And drop in. Good. Okay, I'm going to release the right foot, maybe back to the bolster, to the floor. And I'm going to extend the right leg long. I hit the wall here, but that's okay. And I'm going to bring the left leg into what I feel I can find tree pose in here. So just see what, I'm just shuffling away from the wall. But now just if the left leg's resting on the bolster or it comes over the bolster, just take tree pose in whatever way. Find it. Okay, if you need to add blankets to lift the left knee up, take the time, block, just throw it in, make it kind. Okay, and then we're going to take the arms maybe over the head or out to the side, anything you did in tree pose, but without any effort. So once you've found it for yourself, so I put that block underneath my left knee here, so it's lifted quite a bit, and I know for some of you, that's going to be a much better way to be than to just have it dropping out. You might be fine with it dropping out. You're the only one who knows. So treat yourself lovingly, and then just take 2 more breaths. And if you want to add dynamic action into this and really extend through the right leg and reach your arms, press the left foot in, you can find all of that, but you could also not. Okay, then we're going to release and find our way back into Badaknasana. So take your time and then just let your arms come back to a comfortable place for you. And we're just going to come back to that dropping in deeply. You might even tap into the subtle energies in the right hip and the left hip. And the subtle difference you might be experiencing there. Okay. And then we'll prepare for the left leg. So you just start by bending the left knee, placing the left foot on the bolster or wherever it's going to go, and then just pause here in this shape of the right leg relaxing in Badaknasana, the left knee bent. And I just use a few breaths to drop in again. So I come from a place of softness and then bring the left knee in. So you can opposite interlace your fingers. You can always use your strap if it's too much. And then just going to find this, whatever this is, make any adjustments to your shape that you need to. And when you're ready, we're just going to start to point and flex this left foot with great intention, but without hardening anywhere else. So it's not super serious, but also notice which, are there parts of you that all of a sudden feel they need to come in and support this action. You might notice that in the right hip or the right leg or in your belly even. Okay, and then we're just going to rest here. I say rest, and the foot can do whatever you like. Pointing, flexing, resting. And just let your face be so relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. Belly relaxed. Softening your eyes. Okay, then we'll release this foot. You can let the foot first rest for a moment. Bent, and then you're going to stretch it straight when you're ready. And we'll find tree pose on this side. So I'm just going to pop that shin or ankle on top of the bolster here. For myself, that's okay. But, I'll just show it again with the block. Sometimes a block under the thigh can be very helpful. Okay, once you feel like you're in your super relaxed tree pose and you want to take your arms over, then go ahead and do that. And then just be here, no effort. Just breathing. Okay, now if you want to slowly start to add some dynamic action, some stretching, some lengthening, then go ahead and bring that in and just feel it grow and build. You take your belly in a little bit and then slowly release all that effort, just soften. You can bring your arms back down or keep them where they are. Okay, and then we'll come back to Badaknasana again. So hopefully that's okay. Readjust whenever you need. Okay. And then just let your arms rest wherever they want. Come back to this idea of just really softening into your own container. You know, this idea of being able to spread out. If there's tension, we're holding tension, we can't really spread out. Just invite that in for yourself. Relaxing, softening, receiving. That was the card we had, right? What did it say? Desire, ask, believe, receive. Okay, kind of the same. Desire, dropping in. Ask yourself to release. Believe that you can be even heavier, do less. And then we receive all that goodness. Okay. And then maybe wiggle your toes a little bit. We'll lift the knees up. And you might be able to keep your prop there. I'm just going to snuggle that bolster in between my hips and my heels. And then I'll just let the feet heel toe a little wider apart. We'll bring the knees together. So just be here for a moment. Okay. So if you have the bolster here, I'm going to lift the hips and just slide that underneath the sacrum. I did say to bring your block. So if you whatever works, just have something underneath your sacrum. And we'll just come back to just being here with this lift. So if you prefer a block or put a block in, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to stretch the legs out here. And on the bolster, it's not that big of a stretch. I mean, it's a big stretch, but it's not that difficult. Or maybe it is. I don't know. But if you're on the block, it might be more challenging. So just feel in if you like this or not. You can always rebend your legs. Just noticing what arises, any place of discomfort. And we ask, believe, and receive. Good. Okay. Right, so we'll bend the knees again, place the feet on the floor. Okay, so if you're on the block, what I'm going to do now is windshield wiper the knees side to side. So on the bolster, it's a little easier. And on the block, you might keep the feet on the floor and just let the knees move. Now, if you're on the bolster, I'm going to add the hands like we've been doing in class. So, you can bring yourself to rest for a moment and you'll just lift the hips and we'll take the hands with the palms down, fingers and index finger and thumb touching. And you're just going to place that right underneath your hips. So the fingers are spread. You can move your hands, find a comfortable-ish place for your shoulders, figure out wherever you need to be. Then I heel toe the feet again and come back to windshield wiper. And I can feel, pressure into parts that don't get a lot of pressure. I'm also giving the hands a little massage, just rocking side to side. You can make it as big or as small as you need to. And, if you are on the block, you're not going to do this. So you could windshield wiper, you could just hang out, you could do whatever you like. Okay, so now I'm just going to take it to the next part, this more intense wrist stretch. So as I take the knees to one side, I'm going to turn that opposite hand to face up. And I bring the hips back. I'm not going to be able to get that far because the wrist is not going to allow it. So I just find that place where I'm just putting a little bit of pressure into the wrist that I can handle. Maybe feels a little good. I might wave the knees and just enjoy that. And then I'll switch. So I'll let that hand go back down, rock the knees over to the other side, turn the other palm up. And just lovingly, very carefully lay the hip or the tush on top of that. Might be very different than the other one. You know, walk your hand around your cheek. Find a place that's more comfortable if you need to. Okay, and I'm just going to go to that place of intensity, but not pain. And just send my breath. How can I soften? And I believe my wrist loves this, so just receive that. Good. Okay, and then I'll just rock the knees over, change, I'll turn the hand down. Good. Okay, if you're on the block, you might be ready to come off. I don't know. Give yourself permission if you need to. Okay, or put the block on the lower height, because the next thing I'm going to do from here is bring both knees into the chest. So the bolster might be perfect where it is, and you might have to tuck it out, you know, and then depending on how close your thighs come, you'll either use your hands, the tops of the thighs, or even turn your palms down, hold your belly, let the thighs come in, a little extra. Good. And then just breathing wherever you are. We're just going to use this reverse child's pose to put a little bit of weight into the torso. If it's too much, back out. And if you want a little more, we're going to go deeper. So I'll start by lifting the shins just, you know, up. So the knees, the feet are pointing up to the ceiling. And if that's okay for you, you can hang out there. More weight, you know, the tail starts to lift. We put more pressure on the chest area. So if that's good, and then breathe. If it's no good, back out. You're going to get benefit in the place that is the best for you. Okay, the next place I'm going to go is to sweat the legs, walk straight. So, you know, I might keep my hands on my tummy. I can take them out and just gently draw the legs towards me. You know, whatever works for you. This version of forward fold on your back. You know, if you're here with me, then I take the whole forearm and mush it to the back of the calf, and then I hold on to my heels and I pull the legs towards my face, and I'm smiling because, you know. Okay, and then start to release yourself. You can go slow. Eventually, you'll get the feet back down, and you're still on your block. Kudos for you. Like, okay, and then once you're down, we're just going to rest here. 5 breaths. You can have the legs stretched straight, or have your knees bent, and just do nothing. Good. Okay. And as you're ready, friends, you'll just bend your knees. And if you're on bolster block, we're going to take it out. I'm going to put the bolster on the right side of me so it's here for twist. And just turn it lengthwise. Okay. Then once you're here, you know, if you just come off that block or the bolster for a long time, just take a few moments, knees bent or legs stretched straight. Just receive, feel what you've done. You know, like that is some good work to release your back. You can feel how grounded you are. So if you had a very busy day, I know my heart had a very busy day. So once you feel yourself really grounded, this is that entryway to letting go. Right? I'm grounded and connected. Okay, so from here, friends. Okay. I'm going to take that twist where we have, so I have the bolster on the right side. I'm going to extend the right leg and bring the left knee into the chest. And I might just hang out here for a few moments and just let this be. Whatever it is, you can put in as little effort as you need to be here. Okay, drop your shoulders, drop your stuff. And we're going to take this left thigh or left shin over towards the bolster. So I'll hold the knee with the right hand, left arm out to the side, and then take it all the way over. And you might have to actually lie on your right side for a moment or two and just kind of get everything in place. Good. And then once you're you kind of feel like, okay, I feel like I'm here. Then you can take your right arm, extend it out, take the left hand maybe onto your hip or to the floor, and just open yourself up. Left arm can come out. And what might happen is there might be like a big lift in your knee to get the shoulder down, or the shoulder might really lift to get the knee down. So use your props. Offer yourself what you need. And if this is no good, then just bend your knees and come into the old twist like we normally do. But otherwise, we're here now. 5 breaths. Close your eyes. Let the pose unfold through your softening. Okay. So now yogi's choice here. You might stay in this twist another 5 breaths. And whenever you're ready to come out, you're just going to bring yourself to lie on your right side. Like you probably lie in bed. Just tuck your right arm underneath your head. Left arm can rest on the bolster. Just be on your side. So whenever you're ready, you just move it into lying on your side. And whenever you get here, give yourself maybe 3 nice breaths here. Side lying Shavasana. Good. Okay. All right, we're going to switch sides. So you'll roll onto your back. And then once you're on your back, it might feel really nice to just feel that for a few breaths. And then you'll take your bolster or whatever you're using, just bring it across your body and over to the left side. And then, taking your time. I know you might be there already, you might be a little bit slower. And I'm just going to extend the left leg and bring the right knee in. Change the interlace and just drop in here. A few breaths. Just feeling what this should feel pretty good, hopefully. Good. Okay, and then we'll move into twist. So the left hand stays, right arm can go out to the side, and you'll take it over. And you may go all the way onto your left side for a few moments, just like the side lying Shavasana. And then you can prop up, add what you need. And then you can gently, lovingly open to whatever this is. Shoulder and hip connection is very apparent here, because the knee might want to lift or the shoulder might want to lift. So use your props, adjust your posture, find the place where you can really be relaxed here. And just let the breath do its work, connecting you, your inner world, your outer world, and releasing all the senses so that you're feeling and looking and hearing, listening and sensing what's happening inside. Okay, so stay here. You don't have to rush. Another 5 breaths might be perfect, and then you'll roll to your side. But if you're ready to come out, then go ahead and just make your way onto your side whenever you're ready. So I'm just moving now onto my side. Okay, and then as you're ready, friends, just bring yourself back onto your back. Okay, so here we are. We're going to move into Shavasana. So if there's anything else you need here, offer it. Maybe a happy baby. I don't know what would feel really nice for you. And just let that be, whatever it is. And then you'll move into, coming upright and creating for yourself a nice Shavasana. I'm going to take legs up the wall, and I'll do that same legs up the wall we've been doing. You don't feel you need to do this. You can just lie down into your own Shavasana. But otherwise, I'm going to lie a little bit away from the wall. Not super close. And I'll have the bolster for underneath my head. I kind of dig that. And then I'll just have the legs up. And so I'm going to do this for maybe half of our time. And then I'll let you guys know when I'm moving into Shavasana. But you drive your own ship. So create for yourself a nice space. Drop in, maybe a support for your head. Blanket to cover you. You can have a little blanket perch for your heels. Let's come back to that idea of really releasing. So feeling deeply into your desire to use this time to rest. And ask yourself, where can I let go? How do I rest more deeply? Just believing that you have the capacity to be very still. And to just follow your breath. And then the last part is to receive. Let all of your thoughts, anything that's holding you back from really being very present to this rest. Imagining those thoughts like little bubbles. And imagining you can just pop, pop, and just feel yourself become lighter as you release whatever is weighing you down. And for this time, I'm just going to move very slowly into a lying down Shavasana. And you're very welcome to just stay as you are. Staying as you are. I'm just going to read this card we chose. It says, you feel your body resting and your breath healing. cultivate gratitude. Experience a sense of fullness in your life. And just feeling yourself here, grateful for this time. Grateful for your body. Grateful for your breath. And gratitude for this time of connection. And choosing to stay as you are. Beginning to embark on the journey from lying down to lying on your side. Taking your time. And whenever you're ready, just meet us in seated. Just take a few moments for yourself once you're here just to feel what you've done, feel the shift of energies, feel into the relaxed state of your mind, your body. Bringing your hands together at your heart. Bow your chin. Just honoring all that you are. As you inhale, grow tall, lengthen. Exhale here. And we'll join together in one Om. Seal this practice. Inhale. Bow your chin. Om Shanti, Om Peace, Om Namaste. Take a full breath in. Breathe it into your hands. Catch your breath. And lift your chin. Open your eyes. And offer this to yourself. Right? And offer it. And we'll offer it out. Thank you. Good. Happy Moon Day. Happy Monday, friends. Thank you so much.